What is economic freedom and how is it different from financial freedom? Well, as your freedom mentor, allow me to explain. The phrase economic freedom is typically applied to entire nations, and it describes how free their citizens are in controlling their own labor and property. But here in this video, I'm going to take it way down to the personal level and further define economic freedom as your ability to produce economic results regardless of the circumstances. And what better test to signify whether you have economic freedom than right now as I shoot this video with the coronavirus, which has brought most economic activity to a grinding halt. So let's ask yourself this question. Are you making money right now, despite all the problems and lockdowns and stay-at-home orders? Are you being economically productive? Or are you waiting for that stimulus check, or are you hoping Congress gets out of gridlock so they can fund more of the small business bailout money? Now, some of you watching, you're already a creative real estate investor, and you can say, yes, Phil, I'm being very productive right now. But sadly, for some of you, if you're being brutally honest with yourself, you're not being economically productive right now. And so this is an incredibly important test for you, because right now you could be if you were in a position of economic freedom. The people that I mentor, as well as myself and my team, have been highly productive these last several weeks, while most people have been at a standstill. And as you can imagine, we've had to get a little creative. Things like using Zillow 3D or other virtual tour tools in order to get retail buyers to see our properties if they're not doing actual showings. And most recently, some of the lenders on the conventional side have been raising their underwriting guidelines. In other words, whether they needed a 650 credit score before, and they may now need a 680 credit score. And so certain deals that were in process, all of a sudden the new buyer can't get the loan. What have we done? Well, we've moved to a short-term lease option with them where their down payment becomes a non-refundable option payment, and then of course they're paying as rent, so we're getting a little bit of cash flow. And then whether those underwriting guidelines drop back down in a few months, at the same time we put them through credit repair to boost up their credit score, either way it's going to work out in a few months, most likely. And so as you can see, whatever gets thrown at us, we're going to adjust. And that's what's so beautiful about being a creative real estate investor. Whether the market's good, the market's bad, or even pandemic, we're still able to be productive. Furthermore, real estate is considered an essential service by Homeland Security. And whether or not a government agency gave it that designation, it still passes the common sense test of a basic human need. Everybody needs what? Food, water, I guess toilet paper, and they need shelter. Everybody needs a place to live. And you see, our organization, what I've always taught, is to focus on those affordable price range single family homes. That's our bread and butter because you have the most demand for those. You have the least amount of competition from new homes being built in that price range, and that's where the most loan programs are available. Even during the depths of this lockdown, we are still producing multiple offer situations when we put properties on the MLS. And so if you want to learn more about how that's even remotely possible, I actually explain it in this video right here that some people, when they first watched it, thought I was crazy. It's exactly what's happening. And that's because there's such a lack of inventory of affordable housing. Beyond market conditions, economic freedom also involves where you work and when you work to be as productive as possible. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this, but most creative real estate investors work from home. I've been doing it for 20 years. This is a room in my house, and as long as I've been in the YouTube channel, you've seen this basic background. In fact, some of y'all can hear from my earlier videos kids screaming in the background. That's before I structured my schedule, so I'd shoot these videos when the kids weren't in the background screaming. And so, as you've probably experienced, if you have been furloughed for a while or you've been forced to work from home, you're realizing that working from home can be highly productive, can it? Because you're able to control your schedule a little bit more. You don't have to drive to an office and waste all that time in a car. But another thing that some people are concerned about when they look at real estate and they think, oh, is that really going to be true economic freedom, is they think they're going to be driving around looking at houses all day. That's just not true. 95% of a creative real estate investor's schedule is in front of a laptop or on a cell phone. Yes, we go look at properties, but it's pretty rare, and it's for strategic purposes. So right there, there's some more economic freedom, but then we have to talk about the amount of time, the scheduling, when you can actually do this. And it turns out that creative real estate investing works incredibly well on a part-time basis for beginners. In fact, I have a video that goes into great detail on why that is. Most of the people that first join my program start off part-time. But right now, since a lot of people are full-time at home, they're actually a full-time investor, and they can be just as productive in that capacity as well. So there we have defined economic freedom. It's being able to be productive regardless of the circumstances, whether you have good, bad, or pandemic market conditions, and being able to work from basically anywhere, and to be able to work basically any schedule. So I hope that helps you at least encapsulate that concept. But now you're probably asking, but Phil, what does that have to do with financial freedom, and why is it so important to be economically free? I'm glad you asked. Financial freedom. It's the concept that your asset income, cash flow from businesses and investments that you don't have to actively work in, those exceed or greater than your personal expenses. So in theory, you could go on a 3-month vacation, come back, and would have no impact. You have more money coming in from your passive income than the actual expenses that you spend each month. This is a wonderful goal, and some of you watching have already reached this goal. Well done. And I'm positive that you all, everyone watching, can achieve this goal given enough time and enough consistency focused toward this goal. But let's get real. The majority of you are not here right now. The majority of you are somewhere this way. Now is here, and this is that long in the distance goal of financial freedom. So my question to you is this: what happens between here, now, and there? Answer: life. You've heard the old phrase, life's what happens while you're busy making other plans. Well, these are the other plans that you may have made for yourself, and this is what's happening now. Things like your kids are growing up, time with family, time with hobbies. So the concern that I have for a lot of people is this altogether focus on this, to the point where they work long hours, and they end up sacrificing life to get to here. Now look, on the other side of this, there's still life, by the way. I'm here, and I've been there a long time. There's still life, and it's a lot of fun. But at the same time, we don't want to sacrifice the life that we have, the gifts that we have right now. So how do we do that? How do we march our way here, but not sacrifice life? Answer: economic freedom. That's the answer. Economic freedom allows you to enjoy life while you're busy on this road specifically to financial freedom. And it almost is not fair, because get this, it turns out with economic freedom, because you can be productive regardless of market conditions, regardless of time and scheduling conflicts, because you can be economically productive, you get here faster. You get here faster, even though your goal, of course, is to be productive along the way through economic freedom. All right, well, I hope this has all come full circle for you. The role of economic freedom is your ability to be economically productive regardless of market conditions, regardless of where you're operating, and regardless of the time of schedule you have to apply to that specific economic endeavor. And financial freedom is this end goal, but for most people, they're here, they're not here yet. And how do you get there? By staying economically free all along the way, and you will get to financial freedom. All right, well, I'm Phil Pustiowski with FreedomMentor.com. If you have questions and whatnot, I do carve out time out of my schedule. Put those in the comments below. And also, if you want to become economically free, I've been mentioning this thing called my program and apprentices. The name of it is my Freedom Mentor Apprentice Program, where my coaching team and I, we mentor, we transform even complete beginners, and we turn them into market-leading, money-making machine real estate professionals. And that's something that you can be a part of right now. I have a link here, maybe a video there. And we've mastered the art of distance learning, where all these governments and corporations are trying quickly to adjust to the new normal right now. This is what we've been doing for almost 15 years, right? I mean, sometimes people will be on a phone with me when they first get started, and I'll be looking at a deal, and they'll be like, "Golly, Phil, how do you know so much about this deal? Did you just drive by yesterday? I mean, you're halfway across the country." And I'm like, "No, we've mastered the art of distance, not only mentoring, but also real estate investing. We've got it dialed in at a whole different level." So if you want to be a part of the greatest real estate investing mentoring service that exists on the planet, even if it's not in your own backyard, that's what we do. We take people and we show them how to be first-class investors. All right, y'all. Well, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.